Hi, I'm Sara Waggle. I'm an astrologer and a leadership coach, and I just wanted to give you a disclaimer that the following information is not to be taken as medical, legal, or financial advice. Please seek out those professionals as needed. I am simply an astrologer looking at planets and transits and letting you know what the energies suggest. That being said, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can click the consultations link below. I offer wellness astrology consultations where I can look at your natal charts and let you know what best nourishment or movement would best support your natal chart. I also offer the sun, moon, rising consultation. If you're brand new to astrology and you just want to get to know those main, quote, big three areas of your chart, that can be very supportive. I also offer a full chart consultation if you want a full chart reading, of course, and single transit consultation. So right now we are in Sagittarius season where we will have a Mercury retrograde, the start of a Mars retrograde, and the new moon in Sagittarius and the full moon in Gemini. Any of those transits or any other transits can be a single transit reading. And so if you're just experiencing something weird and maybe you want an explanation, that would be the single transit reading. So, anywho, that's what I have. And welcome to Sagittarius season. Let's get into the content. Thank you so much for being here. Please feel free to click the like button, leave me a comment, let me know that you're here, say hi, and I appreciate you so much. And I'll talk to you later. All right, we're here for this moon in Capricorn coming off that new moon in Sagittarius. This is December 2nd through the 4th. And oh boy. All right. So, a couple things. I've been trying to post on my community section where when like the Schumann resonance is going doing stuff, and it was very active this weekend. So of course I pre-record my videos, so I really want to make sure that you guys are getting like an actual energy update when things are weird, or when things are different. So if you're feeling or experiencing like disorientation, vertigo, um, like confusion, like things like out of place, or like, just not recognizing your surroundings, or like things are just happening that are like out of the ordinary, unusual events, things like that. We are experiencing what they're saying on the Schumann resonance, and go check out things that do this better than I do, because this is not my area of expertise, but I think it's important to mention because we get energy from the planets, but we're also getting energy from the sun and a lot of other cosmic activity that's happening. But it seems like we're having these timeline collapses. So, like, everything's merging into one. And so that's why things seem a little bit wonky, weird. Again, you might feel like disoriented or something like that. Now, of course, the astrology has a lot to do with that. Neptune is sitting still. He stations direct in a couple of days here. Mars is about to go retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde, about to cazimi, have his inferior cazimi with the sun in a couple of days. And Pluto just moved into Aquarius. And this is the beginning, I'm sorry to say, or I'm happy to say, just depends on how you look at it. But I would say with this moon in Capricorn, like Capricorn is structure, it's rigid, it's tradition, it's all of these sorts of things. And so from a wellness perspective, this is kind of like a grounded in. I often refer to the moon in Capricorn as the get shit done moon. And I don't think this is any exception, but I do think this is like an opportunity to really establish a foundation, because Capricorn's in it for the long haul. It's not just the, like, Gemini is sort of the quick, Gemini, Virgo, they're in it for the quick fix sort of thing, particularly Gemini. Gemini is kind of all over the place. Capricorn ain't like that. Capricorn is more in this for the long haul. It's the longevity of the goals, the longevity or the building the foundation. So Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, rules like bones and teeth and things like that. So it's like the foundation of our physical body is our skeletal structure, right? So, right, and we wouldn't be able to nourish our skeletal structure or cellular structure, even if we didn't have teeth to consume and to chew food and break it down and all of those things. So when we're feeling into this Capricorn energy, it's practical. It really, it's this is a time when, like, yes, things seem very confusing and out of ordinary and holy shit, what the fuck? And we're going to have a lot of holy shit, what the fuck moments coming up in the next 6 months or so. So this is kind of like this, you've got to be responsible for establishing and solidifying your routines that are going to keep you going, taking action every day, because you don't want to get lost in the sauce of the confusion, because it ain't going to get any better for quite some time. As soon as Neptune stations direct in a couple of days, he's going to be looking forward at Aries. Saturn's looking forward at Aries. Pluto's made his move. Uranus, when Uranus and Jupiter station direct, they're going to be looking forward to new signs. So we really want to establish some stuff right now, some routines, some foundations, like have your, if you are indeed planning to complete a project, like I'm publishing a book, so I realize I'm talking about publishing a book a lot, but you could refer this to running a marathon or completing an assignment or whatever it looks like for you that you're trying to establish or build yourself up for, prepare yourself for. You really want to make sure that you're taking the inspired action daily, even if you edit 5 words, even if you just look at the writing or look at the project and be like, okay, you know what? I don't have it today, but I'm going to do this one thing that I know I can do, right? Maybe it's like working on formatting like your table of contents or something like that. Again, I know I'm making a lot of book references, but I hope you can relate this to something that you're up to, right? Um, so my affirmation for today or for the next couple of days that I posted on my socials was, in my universe, I can be. And the reason that I'm putting that out there is, in my universe, like, if I had it my way, I'd live in warmer climate, but I don't, because we can't control every circumstance, right? And the reality is that henceforward, we're not going to be able to control every circumstance, but you do need to learn some way to embrace it, because if you're constantly complaining about it, it ain't going to fucking change a thing, right? I could complain about the cold, I could complain about the snow. It ain't going to change the fact that the weather's going to do what the weather's going to do. In my universe, I'm going to embrace it. So so take that as you will. We all have to deal with stuff we don't want to deal with, right? I could go down a rabbit hole just on that alone, because there's a lot of shit I don't want to deal with. But I also know that there is an end. This is the Capricornian energy, right? Even though there's stuff, there's always going to be parts of something that you don't want to deal with. Administrative stuff, there's always going to be phone calls you got to make that you put off. And this is that Capricorn moon, Venus trine Uranus, where it's like, just do the damn thing. Just do it. It's not that bad, right? Conquer your biggest fear, because it's probably not as bad as you think it is. It's just a thing. And your fear is, what is it? False evidence appearing real. And so, we can be afraid of anything and make it real, right? So, and that goes for anything. You could fear getting sick and you're going to get sick because you prove to yourself that it's real, even though maybe it's not real. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying, right? You can fear yourself into a trap, as opposed to embracing, this is the circumstance that I'm in right now. And if I had it my way, it'd be different. But how do I know that having it my way would go the way it's meant to go? Because if I did live in a warmer climate, I wouldn't be buckled down to write a book, right? I'd be out playing. I keep reminding myself that. I'm like, geez, if I didn't live where I live, and I hate where I live, but if I didn't live where I live, I also would be distracted by wanting to, this is like high time to be outside in Arizona. So if I lived in Arizona, I certainly wouldn't be inside. I'd be out playing. So just some things to think about. And you never know when I'm going to get back to Arizona. I don't know. Maybe I'm setting myself up for it and I don't even know it. But if I don't play the cards right now, I may not get to go back to Arizona. Whereas a year from now, my books are done and I got time to play and I get to go back to Arizona and be in a pool all the time. and all of that. All right, let's what's up with the tarot. But that's kind of why you want to establish these foundations is like, okay, if things aren't the way you want them to be right now, in order for them to get where you want them to be, you may have to play the long game, right? Make friends with an Aquarius rising because let me tell you, an Aquarius rising, those people know how to play the long game. They know how to play the long game. They know how to, I don't know what it is about them, but they know how to play the long game. Oh, we got the chariot in reverse. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. You have got to do this yourself. This is introspective. This is introspective. This is you doing this for yourself. You can't, if you've got something going on, like no one's coming to save you. You have to either be okay to adapt, accommodate, enjoy, appreciate, embrace the shitty shit, or make the shitty shit change, or this shit's gonna take you out. Because this stuff's about to be no joke. I'm not even gonna lie. All right. If you think the world is unstable now, you guys, it's about to get really weird. It's about to get really weird. I know it seems like it's been weird for the last 4 years, and we're in the build. This has just been the build up. All right, let's see what else we got. Um, Death card upright, Tasha Yar. Death card upright. Sacrifices. I feel like you've got to make some sacrifices to get what you want, right? If you are typically a sleeping in person, which I am guilty as effing charged, if you're typically a sleeping in person or you curl up in bed when things get uncomfortable or you go comfort eating when things get uncomfortable, you look for your pacifier, your blankie, or this. I'm not trying to criticize or I'm not trying to placate or whatever, but I'm saying if you're always looking for the creature comforts, that ain't going to get you through this. Like you've got to make some sacrifices. You've got to spend a little less time hunkered down. It's like me. I'll go back to me in this cold weather thing because I'm actually trying to keep my heat a little bit cooler this year than normal because I'm trying to lower the bill. Um, but in order to do that, like I have to embrace wearing sweaters and it's not my favorite thing, but like otherwise I'd be curled up under my covers right now instead of recording a video for you. And I think that's an important thing to address with yourself is like, what are my comfort things that I need to like, I mean, it don't, you can self-care. I get that. But there are parts of the journey that are uncomfortable that you have to be okay with. Not everything gets to be peachy roses and rainbows and cotton candy farting unicorns. It doesn't all get to be that way. There are parts of the journey that you've got to just do, even if you think it sucks, even if you're like uncomfortable. That's part of the game. That's part of the long game is you've got to do the uncomfortable things, right? So get okay with being uncomfortable. Make some sacrifices. Sacrifice a little curled up lanky time in order to move forward with something that you really, really want in the long term. Okay. This is long game. This isn't just, it's going to happen tomorrow because even if you set some great intentions with that Sag moon, nothing's going to happen immediately. Some things will, don't get me wrong, some things will, but not a lot will because Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, and yeah, it's gonna be a bumpy ride no matter how you slice or dice it. So if you're trying to keep yourself like coddled and comfortable, that ain't gonna that ain't gonna pull it off. Got to get uncomfortable. I've had to do some uncomfortable shit in the last couple of years to get things moving in the right direction for myself. And trust me, none of it's easy. And then you go do it and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. So, all right, believe in your own magic. Oh, hold on. We have homeward. Interesting. take yourself on a date. Interesting. And that can be uncomfortable for a lot of people, is taking yourself on a date if you're single. But I think this is kind of like get out of your own way, get out of your house, get out of your comfort zone, taking yourself out to dinner, doing something solo when, people think that's weird. I don't, I've done it before. But I think this is kind of like, you've got to be able to feel home in your own skin. You've got to feel comfortable in your own skin. You've got to feel comfortable to, you know, dress up, in your own skin, right? It doesn't matter what size you are, don't matter whatever you are, that none of that matters. You've got to feel comfortable in your own skin. So I feel like that's what this is about. You got to get uncomfortable to feel comfortable sometimes. So there's that constriction and expansion thing. Like constriction, you're a little uncomfortable. Expansion, also a little uncomfortable, but you've got to keep pushing forward. So anyway, that's what I got for this Capricorn moon. Hope y'all are doing great. Drop me a comment, drop me a like, all of the things. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.